What if I told you someone sold this breathtaking $1 million mansion for just $1 single? Sounds like a dream come true, right? But for Steve, it was more of a nightmare. You see, this wasn't just any house. It came with a mountain of property taxes and maintenance costs, expenses that Steve just couldn't afford. He was drowning in debt, barely scraping by, and the house was becoming a ticking time bomb. This wasn't just any house. It came with a mountain of property taxes and maintenance costs, expenses that Steve just couldn't afford. He was drowning in debt, barely scraping by, and the house was becoming a ticking time bomb. He called his childhood best friend Mark and made an offer that would change everything. Take the house off my hands for just $1. Now, you're probably wondering why Steve would do something so extreme. He was thinking about survival. Mark was his best friend, someone he trusted. Steve thought he was doing Mark a favor, giving him a chance to own a once-in-a-lifetime property. This wasn't just about money. To Steve, it was about preserving a legacy, even if it wasn't in his hands. He believed Mark would take care of the house, maybe even let Steve visit and keep a piece of his family's history alive. But Mark, he had other plans. Within months, Mark flipped the house for a jaw-dropping $3.5 million. He didn't tell Steve. He didn't even give him a heads up. Steve found out the hard way through a local news article praising Mark's brilliant real estate investment. Imagine reading about your family's mansion being sold for millions by someone you trusted more than anyone. This wasn't just about losing a house anymore. It was about losing trust, friendship, and the last connection. Steve tried to take Mark to court, claiming there was a verbal agreement that Mark would share the profits. But legally, there was nothing he could do. The paperwork was airtight, and the sale was 100% legitimate. When Steve shared his story on Reddit, the internet exploded.
This is why you never mix money and friendship. Mark may be rich, but his karma bill is overdue. I hope Steve rebuilds his life and leaves Mark in the dust.
For Steve, the loss wasn't just financial, it was personal. He lost a home, a legacy, and a lifelong friendship, all because of one terrible decision. But here's the silver lining. Steve didn't let this betrayal define him. With support from strangers and a determination to start over, he's building a new life, one that doesn't rely on people like Mark. So, what do you think? Did Mark cross the line, or was Steve too naive? Let us know in the comments. And if you loved this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that'll leave you shocked, inspired, and sometimes even heartbroken.